Much related to the temperature, so we are looking.
Thanks, Simon. Thanks to Aprilia's Paolo Bonora. Jorge Martin then. He seems that weekend in the Sachsenring thought he was going into the summer break with a 20-point World Championship lead. That second row of the grid in pursuit of a 14th Tissot sprint.
Find from us about how strong Jorge Martin is in the Tissot sprints. Well, from 11th, let's get some pre-sprint thoughts from Francesco Guidotti, who joins Simon.
He does out a lap time. I really would like your thoughts. He's so good in the sprint, or has been.
Where we start this season, sprint race 10 the same, and so
for the rear or for the front?
Almost from the rear.
Yeah, thanks Francesco Guidotti. Thanks, Sam. There is Brad Binder on your screens right now. The covered has been qualified top 6 in 10, along with Qatar, Jerez, and in cast expanse of this motorsport complex at Silverstone, the site of he's gone up from the medium to the hard compound. In fact, he came to the soft, didn't he? He's got 2 conditions at the the weekend so far. We're 43 degrees for the hour-long practice session. Piero Taramac in the World Championship has gone with the Aprilias, you feel, over to the...
Just around about half an hour ago, the track temperature was 36 degrees, so clouded the decision-making for the riders on the grid.
Well, that's in that window, isn't it, as well, that Piero yesterday morning finds himself 8th on the grid. Successive races went through the high-speed turn 2. No problems, no injuries for Vignales, but that's why he finds himself...
In-point World Championship lead. Of course, no guarantee that he'll lead the World Championship into tomorrow. Of course, going for a 5th consecutive Sunday victory tomorrow, but this is the ride. Has won 13 of them.
Yeah, Sundays where Bagnaia, though, really does cash in a row. That's never happened from a Ducati rider previously in history. Now, he is the form horse coming into this at 106. It's been an astonishing burst of form, a brilliant surge. Break for the 27-year-old. Got married to his now new wife, Dimitzia. He won Superbike. So that Enea Bastianini on the front row for just the 3rd time. Breeze, the world champion Pecco Bagnaia will fire away from 2nd. But and welcome to the Monster Energy British Grand Prix, round 10 in this year's Moto Grand Prix after Aleix Espargaro took just his 7th career pole position in what 3:09 from the experienced wise old head of Aleix Espargaro on the factory Aprilia on the grid to win the main feature British Grand Prix here 12 months ago with a stunning... Aleix Espargaro is a 2-time sprint winner, but neither at his beloved circuit. We remind you, his win last year from 12th place on and 6th, and let's not forget it was right here at Silverstone 3 years ago back in 2012. First podium for Aprilia in the Premier class since Jeremy McWilliams was on the podium. Espargaro victory, but this is MotoGP. Expect and expected, never stop. Enea Bastianini also fires away from the front row, and front tyre choice could be crucial here over this Silverstone circuit. This fast 5.9-kilometre motorsport, who will prevail? Aleix Espargaro, we know, has got the hard front tyre on. That could be critical. Ducatis.
Yeah, Aleix Espargaro, I think, needs to try and get the whole shot and keep those Ducatis. Very seldom is he shifted from the front of the field. So Aleix Espargaro will certainly need
sprint podiums so far this year for Marquez. They've all been 2nd place finishes. The British fans are ready and on their feet for MotoGP race action here at Silverstone. Tissot sprint here at Silverstone. Pecco Bagnaia trying to get the drop on Aleix Espargaro from pole position. Riders have gone down further on into that first corner, but now Jorge Martin, brilliant.
Marco Bezzecchi, you can see Gian Antonio there on the inside of Marc Marquez. It is Bezzecchi who's...
Italians have gone down that first corner instant. Very close friends in that VR46 Academy as well. Back 4, that's a worrying sight, a concerning sight, as both the Italians at the moment not able to get back incident, which is already under investigation from the FIM MotoGP stewards. Martin now has it. Leader, now back into 4th spot.
Yeah, Bagnaia on the run down to Abbey. Must have thought he was in great shape to lead the hanger straight. Good to see Frankie Morbidelli at least on his feet as he's helped away from the scene of that Acosta.
And Acosta toughing it out there with Marc Marquez on the brakes going in a Stowe corner. He's getting the better of that through Vale. Lap 1 of 10 then about to be completed in this sprint here in Silverstone.
Yellow flag still waving into turn 1, so no one can make a move into Abbey corner. You could just see the place to Acosta.
Oh, that was really close. Oh, and there is contact. Well, there was near contact between Bagnaia and Binder. It's getting pretty feisty here, isn't it? Gloves are well and truly off in this British Grand Prix sprint.
More than he was expecting, having lost some of that that aero. Marquez now has taken advantage of all of that.
Well, it would have been bad enough, but through the high-speed changes of direction in Silverstone, where you need the downforce, the race ready to rub. Those two, weren't they? Now the Binder and Acosta try and regroup that first corner.
Perhaps for the debris that Pedro Acosta has now left behind. They'd only just cleared Frankie Morbidelli can only look at himself for that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's gone full wrecking ball, hasn't he, there? Frankie Morbidelli out of control, away from the scene, but a nasty one, a painful one for both Bears and Morbidelli. Martin's trying to get on with it. Exact same lap time set by the beast behind him. Nothing between the top two riders.
For that gas KTM. Here's what happened. It's all taken the heat off Bagnaia. It was under real pressure here from Binder because there's a left-hander coming up, and of course Acosta is right in the line of fire.
Yeah, and who was the grateful recipient now is going to be handling like a three-wheel shopping trolley, isn't it, for Pedro Acosta? He's got his hands full here. So as we mentioned, they both exchanged the identical last lap. 1:58.34. Rockets change direction. You've got to make sure you get the final part of this complex nailed on right here to get the dronker hard on the brakes into the Stowe corner. This is where Marco Bezzecchi got dragged in behind.
Enea Bastianini, the beast, has never had a sprint win. He has never had a sprintage in the sprint as it might be tomorrow, but Enea Bastianini will certainly fancy in the mid-158.
This is the position that Jorge Martin loves to be in sprint. In the Saxon ring, 2 laps from home in the German Grand Prix, when in his hands, he might be still there loitering in 4th place. He's doing 58.4s, which is on par with a bit later on in this sprint. Or is he already letting Martin and Bastianini get away too much?
Of the sprint leader, Bagnaia looked like he was closing in on Espargaro in the back of the pit limit. Violations potentially hanging over their heads. The leading group of 4, though.
News, Morbidelli and Bezzecchi, as we saw, they are both conscious, and they'll go to the medical centre for what were on their respective retro liveries for VR46 Ducati and Pramac Ducati. Dropping Martin under immense pressure here, isn't he, from Bastianini on the 23 bike there in 2nd place. 8.260 means he's now the fastest rider on circuit. The gap down to under...
Now he's gone down! Right on cue, the World Championship leader down, and that might...
Just as he did when he was in contention for the victory on the last lap in Barcelona. That is now so far a 1:58.260, but that pace was too hot for that front tyre. He's going to flick it left, and that front tyre just cries no more. He did the sprint points into the gravel trap. So now Jorge Martin, of course, if he does hop of the MotoGP World Championship, yet another plot twist incoming.
Well, that's easy because just handed the initiative potentially right back to Jorge Martin once again. Bagnaia's best.
Hoping that somehow Enea can find his way through, because that would retain the World Championship. Halfway through this Tissot sprint then in Silverstone, we've had high drama in the opening half. Here, he was the quickest of our lead trio, a 1:58.6 on that last lap.
Here is out, clearly recognising that Martin's got his hands full with Enea Bastianini, as it knows that he's perfectly safe behind him. Marquez is lapping in the 1:59s in 4th place, with now of the reigning world champion Jack Miller is up into the points.
So Bagnaia's blunder means it's 4 against 3 now. 180 kilometers an hour going into that turn 9, and they properly tough it out, didn't they? Martino comes out the better of it, and this, of course, this little skip stronger than the Aprilia, and now from a long way back into Stowe goes Bastianini. He has made the move work.
Well, Bagnaia retaining the championship lead might well be a knock-on effect of what was Tissot sprint. He's never even put a medal of any colour around his neck, but he's already putting meat in.
I'll be owing a drink money tonight to the beast if he can hold on here. That's not a given, of course. Sprints so far this season for Paco Bagnaia. All he can do now is be a frustrated Martin and Aleix Espargaro. Fabio Di Gianantonio has got a long lap penalty, 9.402.
Yeah, he was one of the riders on a track limits warning of Lotfield corner. So we're on board then with Jorge Martin. Di Gianantonio, I think, has now just through the 2nd sector. The gap between them came down from 3/10 to just under 2:10, and the rider who felt it ought to have been his is actually now going to be an Aprilia rider next year. The bike he'll be jumping on next.
Sector 4 now, deep into it, where it's been Aleix Espargaro territory all this weekend. That's why the beast all weekend so far here at Silverstone. Enea Bastianini, though, it is the lead 3. His advantage at the start of this lap was nearly 3.5 tenths.
Yeah, he's very good in the first half of the lap, isn't it? Trying to challenge Bastianini down one of the many straights we have here at Silverstone.
Yeah, I mean, clearly we saw Frankie Morbidelli out of control on that Pramac Ducati. I guess they'll listen to the inevitable outcome of that particular discussion will be a sanction of some sort. Binder and Acosta very early on in this sprint. He's currently 4 seconds, Marquez at the moment, well out of top 3 contention.
As you can see now, Jorge Martin also has a Vinales, and that will put him on his back foot all the way through Beckett and Chappell, and might well give...
And Beckett's section It's been a pretty underwhelming Saturday so far for Vinales, crashing as it stands right now, and he's only in 8th place because of the Gian Antonio's long lap penalty. Now somebody else gone down. It's MotoGP World Championship. A tasted gravel here in this sprint in Silverstone. There's trail braking down the hill into that tight, tricky turn 16 braking.
Has it so far, at least, for Marc Marquez. He has remounted, but he's way down. Fabio Gian Antonio, despite his long lap penalty earlier on, is now into the points, but the battle at the front.
Sprint DNF for the last 3 for Marc Marquez. Of course, he dumped it early when in contention for the podium at the Dutch 2 world champion, Enea Bastianini. He's now nearly 3/4 of a second clear. He needs that second place as well to seize back the initiative in the MotoGP. Just let Enea go and take the 9 points, which will see him
was right on board with Jorge Martin, so not exactly in the kind of position to the inside of the current rider in second place in the sprint and second in the World Championship from third corner of this final lap. And, well, it's not been the easiest of years. It's not
what Jorge Martin did in the Italian Grand Prix, where Martin started the last lap of the main Grand Prix. I don't think Enea is going to fall foul to that particular trick as he cruised Woodcote corner. Martin looks like he is nailed on for a hugely significant. Pecco Bagnaia owes the beast big time here, doesn't he? Because this victory, top of the standings.
It just goes to show, doesn't it, what a difference qualifying makes to Enea. But he's just got Stoke Corner, Vale and Club to go before a first ever sprint win.
He drops down through the 4th gear Vale section, hard on the brakes into 16. This is where it is the beast who is great in Britain. Enea Bastianini, Italian, somehow keeps Pecco Bagnaia at the top of the World Championship, despite the Kooks, the band, of course, who are performing on the main stage here at the British Grand Prix, waves the checker flag. He so often does. Denied, though, a 14th Saturday success by the beast. Brad Binder comes through to 4th. There was a couple of big scares in that sprint 4th. Points for Alex Marquez, Miller, Vinales, and the Gian Antonio. Good ride that by for Bagnaia and Marquez, 2 of our top 3 going into that sprint in the World Championship.
4 consecutive wins, taking the lead of the World Championship. It just takes one moment, like Grand Prix, just 1 point behind the reigning world champion. And for all the talk,
15 after the season across sprints and Grand Prix for Bagnaia. He'll feel that's already finding his way from his teammate Bastianini, who on Thursday told the media, I'm going to be faster on a time attackers. Marc Marquez's hopes of a 4th place up to Lewis, that he has to eradicate some of these inconsistencies. Sort of yo-yo, a great opportunity for a podium in the sprint in Assen, and unfortunately Marquez on the floor once again late. That factory Ducati, and he was caught cold, as he was not expecting that.
ATMs for 4th after he and Pedro Acosta in 5th had made contact earlier on. Alex Marquez 6th, 10th from Fabio Quartararo. First of the Yamahas, of course. Alex Rins withdrew on the first lap of turn 1 after Morbidelli cleared out Bezzecchi. Bagnaia crashing, so Pecco Bagnaia has just a solitary 1-point advantage over Jorge Martin going into tomorrow. Vinales is 12 clear of Pedro Acosta, who's now just a point ahead of Brad Binder in that all KTM fast sprint podium today.